Hey there Trekkies, my name is Michael, aka the TrekLad. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Now I know this isn't related to Star Trek, but I did it recently with Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, and I wanted to do it with this movie because I watched it recently and I have some thoughts about it, and in true TrekLad style I'm going to kind of brain fart those thoughts out and just do stick around if this is your thing. Godzilla vs. Kong, an epic mashup of two legendary titans, an epic mashup that we haven't seen on our screens since the original 1962 version, which saved the Toho franchise, which wasn't doing that well back then. This version is part of Legendary Pictures' Monsterverse, a franchise that has been a thing since 2014's Godzilla movie, a movie that I quite enjoyed, and I will get into that in a second. Before I do get into my thoughts, however, if you can be a darling, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more Star Trek and other movie reviews coming very soon. So I really have mixed feelings with the whole Monsterverse shared universe. As I mentioned just a second ago, the 2014 Godzilla movie which launched this whole franchise, I quite liked it. I liked the way it held off showing Godzilla in all of his glory. We had to wait until about 45 minutes into the movie. I loved the scale of Godzilla. I loved how everything just felt realistic. It felt like it was actually happening. It was a very clever movie, and unfortunately people complained that they didn't see enough Godzilla and it didn't feel Godzilla-y enough, and for some reason the filmmakers actually listened to these people, and then we got Godzilla, the King of the Monsters, which was shit. It was dreadful. It went the complete opposite way. It just gave us nothing but Godzilla, essentially just removing the mystique and the every time you saw him on the screen. There were some good moments in that movie, some great cinematography, some great effect shots. The story was garbage, the dialogue was utterly dreadful. The human characters in most of these movies suck. But the problem with that movie was that all of the chaos and all of the carnage just didn't feel real. It just didn't feel like it was actually happening, and I'm glad it wasn't actually happening. But you know when you get lots of CGI stuff happen and it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight behind it? I hope that makes sense. I got that in the first Godzilla movie. I didn't get that in King of the Monsters. It ruined my day when I watched that. I have to make a confession, I actually haven't seen Kong Skull Island. I probably won't watch it. I know the King Kong story. I mean, it must have been different because King Kong didn't end up on the Empire State Building. Unless he did, I don't know. Tell me in the comments below. Thoughts on this movie? Well, it has stuff in it that I didn't like, and I'm sure you know what that is. The human characters, most of the story, but let's be real. I'm not here to watch humans run around and talk to each other and grab lattes and stuff. I'm here, and you're probably here, for mayhem and carnage and skyscraper tumbling punch-em-ups. That's the real reason we're here, and I'm not going to pretend that there was any other reason. The fight scenes between Godzilla and Kong, and later on Godzilla, Kong and the other one, were fantastic. They were great, and it kind of reminded me of what made the 2014 movie so great, in that you actually felt the hits, you felt the carnage, you felt that things were not good on planet Earth. And if I'm being really nice for a second, elements of the human drama felt decent. The young girl who can communicate with Kong was nice. It didn't really get that much screen time, but it was fine. These elements I feel were kept to a minimum, which is great, and didn't serve as really too much of a distraction from the awesome Kong Godzilla carnage that we were getting. I also liked the movie making Kong the kind of emotional anchor of the movie. He just felt like a character that I wanted to root for, which is kind of weird because Godzilla and Kong are kind of both hero characters, and I felt like this movie was definitely leaning more towards Kong. Godzilla kind of seemed like a dick in this film. I mean, there was a lot of carnage, there was a lot of damage and destruction that he probably could have avoided. Like when he's swinging? That's Spider-Man. When he's swimming into Tokyo Harbor and he just decides to just arch his back and just break that bridge. That just seemed like a dick move, Godzilla. One element of the film that did have me scratching my head and it, at times had me kind of giggling was the fact that this movie doesn't really feel like it's in the same universe as its predecessor movies, particularly the 2014 version, which to me just felt very grounded and real and gritty, and as I said earlier, it just felt believable. This version could not be further from that. You've got like Star Trek ships flying into the centre of the Earth, which just happens to be like a Middle Earth. How? It just felt like a massive leap from where we started in this universe, and it was difficult for me to reconcile. The sizes of Kong and Godzilla. When you see Godzilla in the 2014 movie, he is enormous. He is absolutely just ginormous. He's like the size of a city, and that whole wonderful trailer where they're skydiving, and it just, the scale, he looked absolutely massive. And in this one, he's the same size as Kong. I don't know, I feel like they just took liberties with the sizes. Well, they had to, because it had to be a fair fight, but am I the only person that was kind of confused about how big they were supposed to be? Because, I don't know, that's what I kept asking as we were watching the film. And as I was watching this, I was kind of laughing at it rather than with it. And I feel like that's probably just on me, because when I sit down and I watch these films, I shouldn't be sat there reviewing them and judging them as if I was watching, I don't know, Paul Anderson's Phantom Thread or something. This is a completely different type of movie. This is a take your brain out and stick it there and get some popcorn and just vegetate in front of a screen for 2 hours. That's what it is. It's a good popcorn film. I should be overanalyzing this stuff. However, when you do have the film which set this whole universe in motion being what it is, I couldn't help but just have these questions, and ultimately it just took me out of the movie. Godzilla vs. Kong is big, dumb, silly nonsense, which isn't really hurting anyone. Unless you happen to live in the world, then prayers for all the people in Tokyo. It doesn't really take itself too seriously. It's not trying to win any Oscars. It's not trying to answer any questions that I have. It's just focusing on being a big, dumb, action, leave your brain in another country kind of film, and in that regard, it serves its purpose. It ticks those boxes, and it's a success. Do I want to see more of these films? I could take it or leave it at this point. Don't know if we're going to get any more movies in the Monsterverse series. I know that there was something on Twitter about not getting any more. I don't really care, really. But this film is doing big numbers on streaming and in cinemas now as well, so that could result in some sort of continuation of the series. And if you're a fan of these films, then that's a good thing. But yeah, these films are just probably not for me. They were probably for me if I was like 6 and, I don't know, addicted to Skittles. I'm not going to give this film a star rating. It's just big, dumb fun, and if you're into that kind of thing, go watch it. What did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are there other films that you would like me to talk about and subject to my nonsense? Do let me know in the comments as well. And until the next one, stay happy, stay safe, don't smash any buildings, and live long and prosper.